Well, good morning, guys. Good morning. It is a good morning. Well, not that good. It's raining a lot here in Portugal. I hope the weather where you are is way better than ours because it's pouring rain right now. But yeah, it is what it is. We can't complain about it. It's the weather. So yeah, guys, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, so we are in the middle of the week. I hope you're doing fine. So well, I hope your week is doing great as well. And yeah, I guess let's go straight to the charts and let's see what we will have for today's action. I mean, it is necessary to talk about. Damn it, my camera. As I was saying, it is necessary to talk about um, what's happening. Yeah, I guess that's it now. It is necessary to talk about the economic calendar because I'm not sure if I told you yesterday that I'm not sure about if there's going to be an ending of the government shutdown. I was expecting it to end this week. Some news talked about it, so we might eventually have CPI and PPI this week, but I'm not quite sure about it. So we have to work with what we have. So today there's no big news, but there will be plenty of FOMC members talking during the morning. So we have to keep that in mind, and we have to be mindful about it as well. So yeah, let's go straight to the charts. As I'm looking here, we are already open. So 9:30 open. I will mark the 9:30 open candle, and we'll talk about price action in a minute. So 9:30 open. Here we go. This is the 9:30 open candle. 8:30 open is right here. And yeah, guys, about these levels. As you can see here, just zooming out a little bit. These are the quadrants of the weekly wick. We have all-time high here above us. We have previous week's high here as well. And we have midnight open. This shaded area is an NWOG, and we have previous day high here as well. So what am I expecting on price, right? That's always the main question that you can expect to be answered. So honestly, I'm not quite sure about what to expect on price. And this is one of those days that ES and NQ are not presenting a similar job. NQ is way weaker than ES. NQ still has a daily untapped fair value gap on the upside. I would like to see a stretch to the upside from NQ towards that daily untapped fair value gap. But for that to happen, I wouldn't like to see ES coming to probably previous week's high or eventually 50% of the weekly wick. But if we are not able to do that, we will probably head lower, since it's kind of a weakness sign from, especially from NQ, that we can't even deliver to the daily fair value gap. If I can show you here, MNQ, and this is the fair value gap that I'm talking. As you can see, price is not reaching for it right now. So kind of a weak sign from NQ, and this might eventually drag ES to the downside as well. So the plan here is if price really stays below previous day high or eventually midnight open, which are in a similar position here, we eventually can expect lower prices because we have a regular trading hour sell side liquidity here as well inside the shaded area, inside the NWOG. We have a bullish fair value gap on the hourly time frame, which is still quite untapped here. If we can see here, this bullish fair value gap on ES, we might go for that as well, but only if we can eventually stay below midnight open. So if we stay above midnight open, we will probably head towards previous week's high and eventually 50% of the weekly wick, and that would allow NQ to deliver higher towards the daily fair value gap as well. So it's just a waiting game here, waiting to see if price will eventually give us what we want, and let's wait a bit. So first presented fair value gap right now. I mean, I think it's this candle. Yeah, it is. So the first presented fair value gap acting as a inverted type of fair value gap. So we kind of inverted it. Notice that we have a lot of liquidity here, London highs as well. But at the same time, there's a lot of liquidity down here as well. So, and if we take a look at the regular trading hours, just let me show you the regular trading hours. Oh, this might be interesting. We already did, yeah, we already tapped 50% of it. Yeah, we already tapped 50% of it on ES. So this might be eventually enough. But right now we have buy side liquidity here. Let's see how price will eventually react as soon as we take this buy side liquidity out. I forgot to mark this one. So regular trading hour session buy side liquidity. So I know there's a lot of levels here, but since we have not a perfect picture about what we want from price, we have to keep those levels in the charts and eventually see what they will do. So we are playing inside the first quadrant of the weekly wick. This is the opening range gap, but I will take this off. I already have an idea about what it is doing. Hello, Pablo. Yeah, Dow Jones is it's flying. Yeah, I know it's flying since yesterday. Yesterday it kind of acted on its own world as well, so it behaved like almost like a meme coin. And today the same. Really nice push here. Well, there might be a migration from the big techs to the mid caps and small caps, because the Dow Jones usually represents smaller industries, while NQ and ES represents big industries like Google, Microsoft, and that's why we are eventually seeing this type of movements on YM. So yeah, right now it's really flying, and NQ really weak here. So for now, there's nothing we can do. I mean, they are all doing different things. So, I mean, the question is, who should we trust, right? Because NQ is heading towards the new lows. ES kind of rejected the 930 open here, but was not able to take buy side liquidity out. I would like to see it take some buy side liquidity out before heading lower. And NQ is really, really heavy here. So a clean rejection of 930 open from ES. Let's see if this first presented fair value gap can eventually hold. But since NQ is really pushing to the downside here, that will be hard for that fair value gap on ES to hold. Yeah, you're looking for, yeah, you are looking on at the delta volume, right? Yeah, it's kind of, I believe there's happening a migration from a lot of funds into small and intermediate companies, which are represented by YM, and that's why we are looking at that big bullish push, just like yesterday. Let me just check what, yeah, Nvidia, Apple is losing, Tesla is, yeah, the big companies, Amazon are are yeah, the big companies are flat right now, and the intermediate and small ones might be a little bit better. So right now there's a big divergence in between the indices. Look how we are forming some relative equal lows here. NQ really pushing to the downside here, losing a lot of steam. And yeah, we were talking about a weakness sign from NQ, and it's seems like it's showing it to us, because the usual thing that we would expect is that price would draw towards the daily untapped fair value gap, but it's not willing to do it. And right now we have a big engulfing candle on NQ on a 15-minute. Let me see if, yeah, we are playing below midnight open on NQ already. The problem here for ES is that if we are looking for something bearish, the only thing that we can eventually consider here is the 930 rejection, but no buy side liquidity was purged, not even on the regular trading hour session, I believe. Let me just check. Yeah, we just took out this one right here, but on our left there's still some. Yeah, but there we go. Yes, already displacing as well. So right now we are tapping inside or reaching for the NWOG. Playing below the midnight open. And we kind of lost here the weekly wick because price was trying to get above the first quadrant, but it never, I guess, a lot of manipulated above the first quadrant, but was never able to close effectively above it. Oops. So let me start to mark these bearish PD arrays here, just to see if this will be respected or not. And let me just check the size of these candles as well. Yeah, it seems like we will head lower. There's sell side liquidity here as well. Inside the macro. So yeah, at this point we took out Asia lows. So this is a tricky spot here to go short. Let me just check what YM is doing. Okay. It's not losing any steam here. Seems like a rocket to the upside. So pretty interesting, these types of divergences. But yeah, NQ seems decided to go lower. I'm not sure if we will have the opportunity to engage with anything, honestly, if price just keeps tumbling down here. NQ seems really decided. And if this is a manipulation on NQ, damn, what a manipulation. So let's see if price wants to go above midnight open. If it has the strength to close above midnight open, that would be a sign that okay, it's better not uh better not try to short it. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you, Pablo. Usually when we are at the end of a movement, it starts to print really small candles, usually with wicks, and then it boom to the upside, and then it reverses quite aggressively. So that's why I said that this would be a tricky spot to be bearish. But if we keep rejecting midnight open, we might go lower from here. So Asia low is taken. Reaction to the bottom of the weekly wick, the top of the NWOG. So that's why I decided not to open a short right away. See, this is what Pablo was talking about. Whenever we see price doing these types of candles, these small candles, price can eventually react to the upside quite quickly and with strength. Now I want to see some willingness to stay above midnight open. Yeah, not a rejection here. Yeah, lower we go. Lower we go. God damn. Another tap here. Just a small position here, not entering in a crazy way here. So the low hanging fruit should be just regular trading our sell side liquidity. We are inside the macro as well. So let me take a look at some projections here just to see where eventually price is. I believe this is the manipulation leg here. Yeah, we are around this area. So minus 2.5 standard deviation stands for regular trading hour sell side liquidity. Eventually 1 hour fair value gap as well. Yeah, so far no follow through here. Not quite liking how price is trying to get above midnight open. Yeah, and Q pushing to the upside as well. Yeah, not liking this at all. Probably I'll have to take this off. Yeah, and Q is not allowing, I guess, to go lower here. So price kind of closing above midnight open. But still inside the bearish fair value gap. Yeah, this won't work. Unless we go back once again inside that bearish fair value gap. I might have to stop this out here. Yeah, somehow looking better right now. Wick's doing a lot of damage here. Let's see if we can get some follow through here. or if price wants to get above midnight open once again. I would not like to see it. Yeah, but in the meantime, NQ is once again pushing. Making a new high. Kind of a weird price action. Yes, it's just playing around here. While NQ is still pushing here to the upside. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I will cut this off here for a minor loss, and I will eventually re-enter if I get some sort of confirmation. Not liking this price action at all. NQ is still pushing to the upside as well. Midnight open is being utilized as a support right now, so Yeah. If we close below it, I will re-enter as a short. But right now I'm not liking this, and I prefer to take this small cut than to rather lose half uh, a half hour of drawdown. So yeah, at this point, YM, I believe is still, well, it's losing some steam here. I should have checked for YM before closing my position, but let's see. Starting to like it once again. Yeah. Same idea. Rejection at midnight open. Uh, respect of this bearish fair value gap, with YM losing some steam as well. So let's see. Maybe we get some follow through now. So yes, making a new low while NQ is still holding. But on the 15-minute, NQ just tapped that bearish fair value gap, rejected it. So I presume we will probably head a little bit lower. Let's see. So I should have watched what YM was doing here before taking out that position. It was a minor scratch, but whatever. So the idea here was kind of right, not not that bad of an idea. Midnight open serving as resistance on price. Now let's see if we can still have some follow through to the downside, or if we will react and eventually try to go once again for midnight open. So we might be forming an order block. So I'm allowing price to present itself with some up closing candles for heading towards the downside. Allowing price to retrace back to this fair value gap here. This could be an area where we could eventually pyramid and build a position, but I'm content if we reach for -2 standard deviation with only 3 micros. Let's see if we will have some follow through here. I'm just expecting it. The price having a hard time to go below the top of the NWOG to enter that NWOG. Maybe NQ wants to go a little bit higher before heading lower, since I'm watching it and it's trying to tap a bearish fair value gap as well. Yeah, price taking a lot of time here. I'm just watching where important sell side liquidity points could eventually be located. Of course, this one right here, this area around here, this one right here, and this one right here. I'm not sure if we will go that lower, but this one is definitely catching my eye. I just need full price to display slower. So far respecting minus 1.5 standard deviation. Let's wait a bit more. It will probably deliver a little bit slower than we want, so might give it some time. In the meantime, I will mark the 1050 the 1050 yes the 1050 to 1110 macro. Really slow now. But yeah, I prefer slow and steady than than to some fast and um, not steady moves. So just waiting now. Let me just see here. Yeah, we have this fair value gap, but we have this one, the larger one. Let me go to the 1 hour. Yeah, this is completely untapped, but this one is kind of tapped. Okay. So I would like to see some action from NQ that would eventually help ES to go lower. In the meantime, let me just take a look at the Dow. Yeah, the Dow, it is on its own world. So another move here from ES to the upside. In the meantime, NQ is still trying to tap that bearish fair value gap. And ES is moving to the upside with some sort of aggression here. Not quite liking this, but so we came back to -1 standard deviation. Yeah, it seems NQ is moving towards that fair value gap. It kind of tapped at it. kind of tapped it. So let's see. I want to see a bearish reaction from NQ as well. There we go. Some follow through now. Let's see how far this follow through will go. A new low on ES, but NQ not giving us that follow through to the downside. Small volume imbalance. It should hold. I'll mark the volume imbalance here. It's taking too much time here. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Let me just check the regular trading hour session just to see. Yeah, we have a sell side point here. Okay. Let me just check it once again. 6866. So 6866. I think it's 6866. Yeah. So price reaching for -2 standard deviation right now. Let's see if we can go a little bit lower. Regular trading hour. Yeah, we just formed another relative equal low. Let's see if we can tap the 1 hour fair value gap. So we took out sell side liquidity as the regular trading hour session. At this point, I will break even myself. It And there we go. So yeah, it was a nice trade here. Could have held a little bit more, but since I was already in a small drawdown, I decided to take out the full extent of the position. But yeah, so far it went for my main target, which was the regular trading hour sell side liquidity, and somehow in between the 1 hour fair value gap as well. So with that, we mitigated the loss, and yeah, and made some as well. So yeah, guys, sorry, I was just typing here with some friends. Yeah, I guess I just closed the position right on point here, right at the regular trading hour session sell side liquidity, and now we probably might have some move to the upside, just for probably a while, but yeah, it was quite on point here. This close. Yeah, it came back for the volume imbalance. So if we want to go lower and if we want to see lower prices, this bullish fair value gap should be inverted. So yeah, so far, nice session. The first entry was a bit off. I should have waited for the 10 a.m. Open candle. Um, the 4 hour open candle, because usually that gives us a open high lower close if we are bearish. So should have waited for the 10 a.m. candle to open. But yeah, it wasn't that bad at all, honestly. Um, so what about you guys? Have you done anything? Have you taken any trades yet? Are you expecting a move lower still? Because at this point, I'm still expecting a move lower, honestly. Um, we probably need a retrace. I can see NQ moving a little bit higher and tap once again that 15-minute fair value gap. But moving a bit lower is still acceptable. I kind of like these lows here on ES. So now let's wait and see if we will have some more movement to the downside or not. But I presume we will go a little bit lower. I don't believe that's enough. I still believe there's some liquidity below. So I will probably not do anything more, but would like to see a lower drive on price. So there we go. Starting to disrespect this bullish fair value gap. Yeah, solid price action, but it really was a move from micro to from macro to macro, as you can see here. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm expecting lower prices, so we might see a lower drive. Not now, but it might happen soon. There we go. Smashing through that bullish fair value gap. Inverting it right away. So yeah, we might go lower as expected because there's still some liquidity below us. There we go. So at this point, a lot of liquidity is being built here. So we might eventually see a retrace higher after 11:30 just to take out this liquidity, but then eventually move lower once again. This is what I'm eventually expecting on price. I'm not expecting that price will go in a one-sided way towards the downside. So that might eventually happen. So yeah, guys, what about you? Have you done anything? Have you traded anything? Are you just watching price action? Um, yeah, so far this move is not that clean because it really took a lot of time here, about 30 minutes. But once it displaces lower, um, we gained some momentum, and yeah, price was able to go a little bit lower. And now, after retracing back to that volume imbalance, notice that this is a no wick candle, and price came here, took out these stops, and went lower, eventually inverting this fair value gap as well. So we are really digging into this end walk. Uh, this is the first quadrant, this line here, and probably we will eventually go lower. I'm expecting at least a midpoint, which has some confluence with -4 standard deviation, but below it we have another fair value gap with some clean lows here that you can see the price might want to visit. So let's just see. Let's give it some time and let's wait for it. So yeah, price is now kind of slow. Kind of slow. Notice how we slow it down as soon as we reached for 11. So post 11 might give us some sort of a retrace a little bit higher and eventually another rejection around midnight open, because I can see these highs here being target inside the lunch hour. So we can eventually expect price to do something like this and then eventually go for another run to the downside. This is what the lunch hour really does. It usually targets 10 a.m. new 10 a.m. highs or 10 a.m. lows. So if you like to trade the lunch hour, try to mark 10 a.m. highs or 10 a.m. lows and see if price wants to go for him. It usually does. So it kind of seeks liquidity and tries to stop everybody who's making money from the New York AM session, targeting their stops. So it would be a logical place here to place a stop right here, or eventually even right here. So the lunch hour can eventually drive price higher and then move lower if we are still bearish. But that's we need to see some more development just to believe in that. Because right now price is just playing below um, below bullish PD arrays, but not giving us any type of momentum as well. So so price slowly grinding to the downside, but it's just too slow right now. So it might be enticing some late shorters just to get in. And as soon as we hit about 11:30 or even earlier, we might get some move to the upside, because I can see there's no real momentum right now. It's just somehow accumulating. It's a diagonal accumulation on price. So yeah, guys, for those who are watching, um, just tell me where you're from, or how long have you been into trading, um, and yeah, just talk to me. I would like to know a little bit more about you, and yeah, you can do any questions you want. I will try to answer without any hesitation if I know. what you want me to talk about. So if I know about what you're asking me, I will tell you my answers. But yeah, don't hesitate to ask me anything, honestly. Just let me give a second. 6864. Yeah, close it right here, right here. And it went about 4 handles more. Yeah, price really stopped here. It's a boring session now. There's not much we can do besides watching it. Yeah, slowly, price is slowly moving to the downside. Slowly progressing towards new lows. But it took a while just to make a new low, as you can see here. So at this point, if you still want to go, if you still want to go lower, if you still want to play some shorts, I would advise you to wait for some sort of a retrace higher, taking out some buy side liquidity, and not getting into this type of price action because it might trick you. And suddenly it can move to the upside quite quickly whenever price is doing what it is doing now. But yeah, it seems like it used the volume imbalance here just to go for a retrace. Then we kind of inverted this bearish fair value gap. We took some time here, and now we are reaching for -4 standard deviation. So this could have been a slightly larger trade. 7 handles more. So, but I would had to wait about 30 minutes and not protect my position, because if I would protect my position, I would have been stopped out, most probably. So that's usually a tricky question. When should we protect our position, right? That's a tricky question, honestly, um, because everybody has its own methods and its own criteria to protect themselves. But whenever you expect it to go back to retrace, until then you should not protect yourself. Otherwise, your stop will get hit. And if you decide to protect yourself quite early in the trade, it usually means that you're not confident enough about your analysis, and yeah, you are just protecting your fear of getting hit, not protecting your position. You are just protecting yourself from that fear of getting your position into drawdown. So that's quite that's quite hard to manage, I would say. Um, but yeah, sometimes we are a bit afraid of being hit. I tend to have that feeling a lot of times, especially when we are not sure about what we are doing, and know that we are playing with probably low probabilities. So in that type of environment, I would say, and I would advise you to, okay, just protect yourself, but do not get frustrated if your break even gets hit, if your stop gets hit. So you have to accept that. So the price of not getting hurt, or not wanting to feel that that feeling, um, is paying the price with a break even, and you have to acknowledge that, and you have to admit it, and you have to just embrace it. It's, it's just a rule of thumb in price action. So see, I was telling you just to wait for some buy side liquidity purge before getting into shorts, because this can eventually happen. See, and in the meantime, we had -4 standard deviation, so we might end up being right now at the end of the move. So shorting at a large discount can be quite tricky. That's why I was telling you just to wait before entering a some sort of a short position. So now let's see if this bullish fair value gap will be respected for that move higher that we can eventually anticipate, since we are moving into 1130 until probably around this area right here. This would be a nice play here. Let me just check for how long are we streaming. Yeah, it's been 2 hours, so I guess I will resume the day here. I will summarize the day here, and yeah. So summarizing it, yeah, honestly, I was expecting two scenarios at the beginning of the session, or we play a bullish scenario where we can stand above midnight open, or we can eventually play a bearish scenario if we can stay below midnight open. I kind of anticipated as a bearish scenario, since yeah, we kind of tapped into midnight open. We kind of rejected it, but I guess I was too soon here. My entry was a bit too soon because I should have waited for the open high, open. I mean, the open high candle open of the 4-hour candle. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't sound like it doesn't sound good. I will repeat it. Yeah, here whenever I entered, I should have waited for the open high low close of the 4-hour candle at 10 a.m. So should have waited a little bit more just after 10 a.m. just to enter my short position. I kind of entered here. Then I saw that price was coming a little bit above midnight open, and yeah, I just closed it here for a small scratch, for a small cut on the account, and then re-entered right away because we displaced below midnight open, assuming that we will respect this fair value gap here, and then it kind of ran. It took a little bit of time here, and I could have pyramided a little bit here because price was around here for quite a while. But since I already did a small and minor cut into my balance, I decided not to pyramid and take more risks into this trade. And since we were at the top of an N walk as well, I decided to not try it. But then we displaced lower towards regular trading hour sell side liquidity and towards this 1 hour fair value gap that I was expecting it to be traded. So this was the main idea of the trade. Price, the only thing that kind of I didn't like on this trade was that we never went for proper sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity. I mean, we never went for proper buy side liquidity here on ES. We kind of did only on the regular trading hour session this purge of buy side liquidity, but we had a little bit more here on the upside. But yeah, I assume it will be left and it will be saved for some later action. So this was the session, honestly. A short from here to here with a prior small cut that I should have waited a little bit more because we never had confirmation of this close above the fair value gap, the bearish fair value gap. I should have held a little bit more, but yeah, probably next time I will have that into account. And I could eventually pyramid a little bit more here as well. I didn't pyramid at all, but I could have pyramided it a little bit here. So yeah, guys, I think that's it. Thank you for being there. Remember that we will probably have some news driver during the week. So CPI and PPI. Keep that in mind. Don't try to force anything in these types of conditions. And yeah, my plan for the rest of the day would be something like this: lunch hour attacking all this buy side liquidity. But since I'm still bearish, I would like to see a lower drive after we take these stops, because a lot of people already put their stops here thinking, okay, I'm bearish, so I will probably wait for price to go lower, but I will protect myself and I will put my stop around here. And yep, it usually works like that. So price always seeks for liquidity. Liquidity in the form of stops are one of the best liquidity forms. So that's what usually happens. So keep that in mind, and don't try to short in a discount as we are right now, because 8:30 open, 9:30 open, and midnight open are quite above us, quite above price is right now. So don't try to short in a discount. Wait for it to go at least for equilibrium of the range, and if you want to see lower prices, yeah, just let it go for a minor retrace at least. So yeah, guys, I guess that's it for today's action. Hope to see you tomorrow once again. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Stay safe and don't try to force anything. You already know what's the deal. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Have a nice Wednesday. Thank you.